Well, good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the coffee stream. It is, of course, the very first coffee stream of 2023, and it is Mobility Monday. Today, we are going to be doing things a little bit differently. Not everything on today's stream is going to be exclusively disability related. However, it is just as important that we cover it. I do have an article from Forbes that is disability related, and we do have the angry cops reaction to Canada's Veterans Affairs Canada's new commercial. And since we've been talking about Veterans Affairs Canada lately, I figured we would watch that. But we do have a video to watch that is not having to do with disability, but it is just as important that we watch it, especially for those of us who are content creators on YouTube. I think it's absolutely important that we take a look at this video. First, though, let's say hi to chat. Hello, Maddie. Hello, Ghost Dog. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Honey. Hello, Pink Hollow, as I say. Hello to Bishop. Hello to Ghost Dog. I hope everyone is doing well, had a good new year, and is ready to tackle the new year. There's a lot of changes that I want and need to make in both my real life and my content creating stuff. I hope that everybody who had a bad year last year is I wish nothing but the best and happiness and stress freeness for you this year. Because 2022 was weird. It was weird. Let's just say that. And we could all do with a little bit less weird this year. But you know what? Because of the way things are progressing and going, I'm highly doubting that we are going to be subject to anything but more weird. And some of it's going to be funny and some of it's just going to be terrifying. That's just my prediction for this year. Is everything that we will be experiencing will be split pretty much down the middle between wow, that's just funny, and I want to get off this planet. So yeah, those are my predictions and my wishes for 2023. I'm sitting here with my coffee and Cartier, which I think is actually a little bit better than Bailey's. Definitely a bit of a different taste. Still a nice little cream liqueur. Goes nice in coffee. So what we're gonna do is first we're going to,
because Cartier is made with wine.
Yes, it is.
It has red wine. It's barreled with wine barrels.
Yeah. So first we're gonna read the Forbes article, and then we're gonna start looking at the videos. So let's see here. Where am I here? I need my Apple News link.
Don't mind me, just doing technical stuff.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
So let me open this Apple News link here. Okay, now we're going to go back over to StreamYard. So for those of you who were not on Twitch last night, you were asking me how my weekend was. Apparently I'm a hateful person. Because I can't have a discussion with my husband about how people are too soft when it comes to language. Isn't it great how you talk about how, oops, that's not what I wanted. It's funny how you sit there and you're talking about how people are too soft when it comes to language, And then they prove you right by reporting your live for hateful behavior. Like, really? Are you that stupid? Oh my god. And then the funny thing is that I get reported for hateful behavior, right? And then so we go back live over on Pink Hollow's account, and I get called a fat pig. That's but I was the hateful one for having a talk about the word retard. Oh, that's just too funny. Cool shirt. Oh, you guys are looking at. Yep. Everyone's gotten too soft. Yep. Leo! What's up? What's up, Leo? Okay. 3 things non-disabled people should do before calling out ableism. I hope for the love of all that is holy that 3 figures of different colors. That is a horrible way of describing that picture. 3 figures of different colors, 2 of them standing, 1 of them in a wheelchair. The only way that I figured out that they weren't talking about actual figures, like action figures, that weren't painted different colors, as in like red, blue, yellow, was when they got to the part of the description where the one of them was sitting in a wheelchair, and I'm like, oh, they mean people. So first of all, this person either isn't disabled or has no idea how to describe a picture.
It's a red stick man, a red stick woman with a skirt, a green stick man, and a blue stick wheelchair logo. That's it.
What?
That's all there is. Keep going. Leave the picture alone.
Oh. Calling out ableism. Oh, okay. How should non-disabled people who care about the well-being of people with disabilities respond to blatant ableism when they see it? Like a normal person would respond to any sort of bullshit? Call it out? Like, why does it have to be now that we have to recognize a specific form of nastiness, label that form of nastiness, and then have a specific set of parameters for dealing with said nastiness? Why can't we as human beings look at other human beings and go, hey, you're being an asshole. Stop it. Like, what's so hard about that? Why do we have to be like, oh, let me explain the particular type of asshole you are being today. You, sir, today are being an ableist asshole by doing this and this and this and this and this. And tomorrow you're going to be a racist asshole because you did this and this and this and this and this. And on Friday you're going to be an intersectionalist asshole because you will be hating on 5 different people by looking the wrong way down the street. That's literally what this feels like. Okay. A short video shared December 25th, 2022 on Twitter shows a grade school aged girl in a wheelchair at a school assembly. She shows to be either carelessly or deliberately left out of a circle of her classmates that are holding hands and singing together in front of their assembled classmates. Um, the teacher, there's also a teacher. So basically the teacher is blocking the girl. She's isolated. The teacher's blocking her between her and the other kids singing. The impression of intentional exclusion, or giving the impression of intentional exclusion. Note the tweeted video is linked here but not embedded because of concerns explained below about the relative benefits of and drawbacks, of sensationalizing ableist incidents in this particular way. I can understand. Okay, so I do understand that comment because I do have problems with some accessibility advocates or disability advocates using the route of shaming people into compliance with socially acceptable ways of dealing with disability or legal ways of dealing with disability. However, if you have on several occasions tried to calmly and respectfully fix the problem and nothing is being done, then I think that a certain amount of shaming can take place. Let's see. That just makes me feel bad for the girl. Yeah. Talk like a normal person, call bullshit out and repeat. Yes! But then again, I'm one of those people who thinks descriptions of people before in presentations is a waste of time. It is, Leo. It's a huge waste of time. The tweet was shared as an example of apparently obvious, heartbreaking, and arguably unforgivable ableism. Okay, no. I'm sorry. While it really, really sucks that she was placed like that and excluded, there are way worse forms of ableism that could take place in a school setting and other places. And that transgression could absolutely be forgiven if it was explained properly. Unforgivable ableism. Jesus Christ. The tweeter follows up with some further explanations and suggestions on how such such painful separation could have been avoided. Sharing photos and videos of real-life ableism in action on social media is a fairly new response to ableism, an option that hardly existed until 15 years or so ago, and has certainly only become rife within the last 8 to 10 years. Yeah, that's true. Because before it was really only word of mouth within a small community of disabled people and their friends and family. Now, or if it was particularly egregious and a news station picked it up, then it got attention. Now you can post it wherever. Superficially, posts like this help fight ableism by making it more real and emotionally resonate for millions of people who would otherwise know nothing about it. In theory, social media posts like this help strengthen the idea that ableism is avoidable, painful, and unacceptable. Right? I can absolutely understand that argument. Costin, welcome. It's these Twitter people, my friend. I don't like it because they make everything about them. And it's the context. Yep. Yep. Sarcastic with dark humor, deadly combination. Absolutely, Ghost Dog. Absolutely. But viral videos like this about ableism and disability also raise important questions about how non-disabled people can and should respond authentically and effectively when they see what they believe to be or ableism. Is it always helpful to speak out for forcefully dramatize the incident, and encourage others to join in the rage, or is a more careful and thoughtful approach called for? Honestly, it depends on the situation, and this is when a non-disabled person needs to, like, here's the best way. Everybody, any group of any quote marginalized group of people, you want to know how to be an ally for them? Read the room. Okay? Read the room. If it looks like they need help, right? And you can figure out a way to communicate to them, you need some help, and they communicate back, yes, then you fucking step in. Okay? But you do not automatically assume that the marginalized person needs your help. That's how you be a fucking ally. It's not complicated. And if you're not disabled in any capacity, and you don't have any like intellectual issues or whatever, you should be able to read those cues. No? Is that not so? Is that not how we have laid out society? You are if unless the only way that you are unable to read social cues and stuff is if you're neurodivergent. So if you're not neurodivergent in some way, and you are dealing with a marginalized group of people or a person from a marginalized group, and it looks like they need help, maybe you should communicate to them somehow that if you need help, I've got your back. But you don't need to just jump in like a white knight. And this is not just for disabled people. This is for anybody. If you're like a white person and you've got a black friend who, and you guys are running into some asshole who's calling them all sorts of horrific names, but that black person claps back, you don't need to say anything. Because they've got it, right? And you're going to be infantilizing them if you're like, yeah, don't be so mean, right? Same thing for a disabled person, right? If, like, it's the same, like on my TikTok lives, right? I can take care of the trolls myself between either my mods muting them or me telling them to shut the fuck up. But I still have well-intentioned, they're always well-intentioned, but it's annoying still. My well-intentioned followers coming riding in on their horses, go, don't be so mean to her, don't be so mean to her. It's like, guys, I've got it. I'm okay. I'm capable of defending myself, right? There are times where, like, if it looks like somebody's genuinely upset, Then you come in and you're like, hey, what the fuck? That's not cool. You don't need to be like that. Like the other night when I was on Driving Apes Live and somebody called me a fat pig, and he saw that I was genuinely like shaken up, so he fucking ended the like he took it upon himself to end the stream because like that was just crap. How are you using TikTok? I thought it wasn't voiceover accessible. Oh no, it's about like 95% voiceover accessible. And then the other stuff you can get around it by using screen recognition. For the most part. Yeah, it's I have to say that
the funnier part is, let's be honest, over the last 3 years, one of the reasons is the shit you've been telling them. Because every time, like, think about it, like when you first started using it, it wasn't very accessible, right? You started messaging TikTok, and then suddenly, like within like 2 or 3 weeks, the shit you asked for to be fixed was getting fixed. It's only been the last 6 months that TikTok has taken a fucking dive in their support side. I'm not talking about the appeal side, but yeah, when it comes to the accessibility on there, that's why it's like people that shit on it. I'm like, no, it's actually better than you think. It's just because the Chinese fucking propaganda bullshit.
It's literally like, and it's not just me. Like there will be updates where they'll break something.
Yeah.
And Blind Talk will go, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah, Blind TikTok
and
is pretty
TikTok
effective on the
and TikTok will go, oh, oops, and there will be another update in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it will be fixed. So like compared to fucking YouTube and its fucking YouTube Studio, which is ass, and I don't know how many blind content creators when it was in beta mode went report.
Because the people on YouTube, the blind ones on YouTube, like you, have people like me in the background doing all this crazy shit. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single disabled YouTuber out there doesn't have somebody doing something for them.
Nope.
So
it's true.
But we're just open about it.
Oh, some of them are appalling. You've never had a problem with YouTube Studio, really? Oh, fuck! I hate YouTube Studio. Honestly, YouTube Studio out of YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, YouTube Studio is my least favorite. It's so damn clunky. I just like it's usable. And I can upload things by myself and whatever, but it's just so damn clunky. I don't like it. I never have. It's yeah. I can see and hate YouTube. Yeah, there are a lot of sighted creators that hate YouTube Studio. Let's move on here. Here are 3 steps. I think you meant here are I think they meant to say here are 3 steps able-bodied people, because it says disabled people can take before speaking. Yeah, they meant able-bodied people, not disabled people. 3 steps able-bodied people can take before speaking out about ableism. 1. Believe what disabled people say and take their interpretation seriously. Yes. If there's a disabled person making a dark joke about their disability, or somebody else that's not disabled makes a dark joke and the disabled person is genuinely laughing, don't sit there and be like, oh my god, that was horribly ableist. How could you joke like that? Oh, don't you understand the plight of disabled people? Yeah. No, like, come on. Skepticism is never entirely out of place, especially when people's reputations can be so quickly wrecked by social media. by social media pylons. On the other hand, people with disabilities are far too often doubted, grilled, and second guessed when they tell wait when they tell about incidents of ableism and discrimination. Stories and depictions of ableism should not be automatically doubted or discriminated or discounted just because they can sometimes seem trite and literally unbelievable. Okay, but what if you're a disabled person and your experience in your own life and watching your friends tells you that that story is bullshit? Does it make you ableist to call out another disabled person and go, that makes no sense? And does it make the able-bodied person who, say there's an able-bodied person who's spent their entire life around disabled people and they hear a story, and because of their knowledge and experience with disabled people, they're like, I don't really think that's necessarily true. Does that make it ableist? Because I don't think so. I think what Forbes should be saying here is, if a disabled person tells you that they're okay and that they don't need help, don't second guess them. Don't tell them, yes, you actually do need help. If a disabled person tells you that no, in fact, that was not ableist, don't tell them it was. Right? Don't tell the poor disabled person that they're too stupid to understand just how ableist, their friend was being. And don't, as an able-bodied person, don't tell the disabled person that they're internalizing their ableism because they're laughing about at jokes about disability. That is what Forbes should be talking about. Not whatever the fuck this is. Yes. You can hear it all. Wait. Oh, yeah, I fucking hated that, being internally ableist or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I got told that cuz I was talking about being a kid and not liking to use my cane, and I got told that that was having internalized ableism, and I'm like, why? Cuz I wanted to be like everybody else cuz I was a fucking kid? Like, Jesus Christ. One of the most persistent types of ableism itself is the idea, usually unstated and assumed with little conscious thought, that disabled people are unreliable narrators of their own experiences. What the Forbes? Do you not understand how ableist you are being right now? That is not. I don't. Holy shit. You have completely gone off the rails here. This is a completely different article now that you're talking about. Okay? Because it is ableist, yes, to question a person's story just because they're disabled. But however, we're talking about calling out ableism. All right? So, what you should be talking about in this section of, take it, understand what a disabled person says and, understand what their interpretation means. You should be talking about the points that I've already outlined about how You should not be infantilizing a disabled person in a conversation setting where, say, dark jokes are made about disability, or if a disabled person, what am I thinking here? If a disabled person is running into a situation of discrimination and you are there for it, if like you don't just automatically assume that the disabled person can't advocate for themselves unless they specifically articulate to you, hey, could I have some help here? That is what Forbes should be outlining here. What they're talking about here is a completely different article about ableism in regards to disabled people not having their experiences believed. That this is, who thinks that most people can tell their story without let's see, without your help, right? I'm trying to figure this out. This Forbes article is trying to say that apparently it's like I'm lost. I don't think I don't. I'm very confused here. But ableism is often a lot worse than non-disabled people often think possible. In fact, those who think of themselves as pretty progressive on issues of disability have the most hard time believing issues or stories of ableism. Why? The same is sometimes true even for some disabled people who, for various complex reasons, may take it upon themselves to be extra skeptical about their fellow disabled people's claims of ableism. Yeah, because a lot of disabled people milk the goddamn system and ruin it for the rest of us. So we fucking have to be. For various complex reasons. Fuck you, Forbes. This was obviously written by somebody who is not disabled or has never been around disabled people. This is insulting. I don't think Forbes understands just how bad this is. So, an essential first step in responding to news of ableism is to listen to disabled people's. Listen and believe the disabled person. Oh my god. Oh my god, are we about to have a fucking Me Too era for ableism? Oh my Jesus Christ almighty. No, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. We're not doing this, Forbes. We are not doing believe all disabled people. Fuck you. No, not happening. Not fucking happening. Oh my god. Oh my Jesus Christ. Think first about how your response may affect those with disabilities, both those involved and those observing. Of course, because we must think of everyone before we do everything in our lives now. Many disabled people want incidents of ableism made public and appreciate it when they go viral and spark justified and productive outrage. But viral videos and news stories about the most painful form of disability discrimination can be traumatic for disabled people to see, to have shoved in their face over and over again. Then, you know what they can do? Change the channel or close the goddamn window. Because you know why? They still have agency. You fucking, oh my god. Oh my god. This article, this article is the most ableist piece of garbage I have ever read this year. And I can say that. I'm sure that I will find more coming up this year. But so far this year, it's only January 2nd, but so far this year, this is the most ableist piece of garbage I have read. Like, this is insane. Oh my god. Like, what moron wrote this? A number of disabled people respond to the school assembly video. Yes?
Here you go. Have some rum.
Ew. In my Cartier coffee?
Get you more coffee. What? Trying to help, trying to be fun, and you gotta kill it that way. Jeez.
But those flavors don't work.
Try it. Try it. Try it.
God.
No? Okay. Here, have the bottle.
Oh my god. Ugh. A number of disabled people responding to the school assembly video didn't talk about the ableism of the incident itself, but about their anguish at such a painful scene being widely shared with other disabled people. Many of them said that they had been triggered or treated this way in their own childhood, and that seeing that video brought back very unwelcome feelings. So what? Life is full of unpleasant memories. Deal with it. Whether you're disabled or not, life is full of unpleasant memories, and sometimes you see stuff that reminds you of them. Get the fuck over it. Just for crying out loud. Like, are you kidding me? Well-meaning but ill-informed and hasty comments about these incidents can also ratchet up the anguish. Stories and videos featuring actual disabled people that produced and distributed without their knowledge, input, or permission also tend to exploit them, no matter how well-intentioned they are or how much good they supposedly generate. Yes, you should never, again, don't take videos and pictures of people of any kind of group, thank you, without their goddamn permission.
See, you're out of Cartier, so now would you like rum in your coffee?
There's Cartier in the fridge upstairs.
Oh, this is a Pinot bottle. Why is it upstairs?
Because I didn't want to bring it back down.
Liquor goes downstairs. Huh?
And I'm not out of Cartier. There's enough still in the bottle. What was I saying? Let's see. It certainly is. Triggers will happen. You can't get away from them in life just by the. Yep. God, get over it. Welcome to life where shit like this happens. Exactly. Fuck. This was obviously written by somebody who is not disabled.
This is obviously written by someone who wears antlers. Drip, 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 blip, 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 blip.
The whole spectacle and how it is presented can erase much of the support and goodwill these stories are supposed to generate for disabled people.
I'm sorry, what did that mean?
It means that apparently viral videos of people being mean to disabled people will make other people hate us.
No, it makes people hate the retards that are jumping up and down posting the stupid fucking videos because they're the actual disabled people.
Right?
Again, and I'm apparently not allowed to say that word anymore because people think it's hurtful, even though I'm using it to determine people who are dumber than sovereign citizens.
It's hateful behavior.
That's the last of your booze, dear.
Exposing ableism is obviously important, especially when it's so easily understated, and might help build a consensus against ableist practices and ideas. But it's important to be careful not to thoughtlessly hurt, talk over, or exploit actual disabled people in the fight against this prejudice. What the fuck? Whenever possible, amplify disabled people's voices before adding your own. So, in order to amplify somebody's voice, you have to add your own. Whether you actually speak or quote tweet them or like either you just retweet them without adding anything or just share their stuff without adding anything. That's the only way you can do it without amplifying or adding your own voice. Otherwise, the very practice of amplifying somebody, like when a human quote amplifies another human, it's not the same. This is why I hate the term amplifying when it comes to this context, because in this context we as humans have to add our voices to somebody else's voice to amplify them, to help spread their message. We have to be like, hey, did you know about so-and-so and what they're talking about? And then we either summarize what they say or we can show, our friends like their videos. But we have to add our own voices. Otherwise, there's no communication. There's the very human part of this. I really do hate Forbes. I really do as well, Leo. Shut up. It's a cream wine liqueur. Let's see. The best way for non-disabled allies to avoid exploiting and steamrolling over disabled people in the fight against ableism is to center disabled people rather than themselves. That may sound obvious, but it's not easy. The impulse to speak out and be heard first and loudest on these incidents can be overwhelming for contrarians and nitpickers, certainly, but for progressive minded and supportive non disabled allies. Wait a minute. 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 If you are skeptical about any of this shit, you're a fucking contrarian and a nitpicker? What if you're disabled and you're reading this article and you're going, this is a crock of shit? Does that mean you're not progressive and supportive? You're a contrarian and a nitpicker? Way to groupthink there, Forbes. Holy fuck. This is insane. And while the disabled population is a lot larger than most people think, non-disabled voices are still almost always in danger of drowning disabled people out in disability discourse, and hearing from disabled people isn't just fairer, it helps avoid serious mistakes in disability advocacy. How about you stop being so flowery in your language and go, hearing from disabled voices isn't it's necessary, period, end of paragraph. It's not only fairer. No, fuck you. You can't. What do you mean it's only fairer? Of course. What? You entitled fucking cunts. Oh, well, it's only fair that we should let the brokens talk about their stuff, you know. We can't not let them talk. It makes us look bad. That's how you come across right now, Forbes. And it's fucking disgusting. This honestly, the people at Forbes need to have mirrors in their cubicles with this fucking thing taped above it. This is disgusting. The little girl in the wheelchair wasn't just excluded from the bonding experience with her non-disabled schoolmates. At the very least, we don't know whether or not she had a say in it. At the very least, we don't know. Put it another way, we can't know the full story unless we hear in some way from the girl herself, or at least from disabled people who have been in similar situations. In fact, the teacher may have her own explanation herself. Either way, what's most notably missing from the episode, at least initially, are the voices of actual disabled people. But you said there were... You said there were people commenting on the video that were disabled. So how can you now say there were no voices of disabled people involved? What, just because the little girl wasn't narrating the video? I'm a sad little disabled girl whose classmates and I didn't get to sit with, like, what, like, wow. Before chiming in with their own opinions about some incidents of apparent ableism, non-disabled people should at least make an effort to find out what other disabled people think about it before adding their own words. And non-disabled people should always think about Basically, the fact that there's always the danger of derailing and taking over the conversation. You know, like this whole goddamn article did. Holy Christ. That was wow. Just wow. That is all I can say. No, Jordan, you're right. He says, no, this was definitely not written by a disabled person. I agree. I agree. Okay. What are we doing here? Now we're going to go to our next article, or our next video. And we're going to take a look at something that's incredibly concerning. If you are a content creator on YouTube, you need to definitely take a look at this. Like this is really important. In fact, I'm like, this is kind of a kick in the teeth for people like me and Rio and all, like, yeah. Here we go. So this is oh, let me make sure that that the screen is the right size here. There we go. Okay. And theater mode. So, huge YouTube change just ruined many channels. Here we go.
Stop everything you're doing right now. I don't care how important it is. I have news that'll blow it out of the water. And trust me, you're going to want to get this sitting down. So if you're in the operating room watching this, it's time to put down the scalpel and pay attention. YouTube has just made a massive change to the platform. In standard YouTube fashion, has done a horrible job at communicating it to the community. So it's up to me, ace reporter Charles here, to tackle this topic from the front lines, just riding through like Paul Revere, lighting the lanterns, letting you all know that another awful set of changes are coming to YouTube that have already overnight tanked some creators' source of income from their channels, demonetized like half of their videos with no explanation, and more channels are soon to follow as this continues to roll out.
And by the way, I have not gotten any emails about policy changes. This is
None of us did. Even my AdSense account that I still have hasn't been notified of any of this bullshit. So
yeah,
you don't have an AdSense account yet.
No,
because you haven't hit that threshold yet. But they deleted mine, but I'm still getting AdSense emails. It's fucking atrocious.
And well, now after this fucking change, I'm probably never going to.
It's not as bad as you think. It's still bullshit, and they haven't. As usual, YouTube is fucking up on all of this. But yeah, Moist Critical's got this covered real well. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, so here we go.
And I'll let it be known right away here that yes, my channel has been hit extremely hard by this new shadow policy that they've slid into the equation here. The policy is if you say any swear word or anything less than proper in the first 8 seconds of a video, you instantly get demonetized for it no matter what.
8 seconds. 8 seconds. So even if you are not made for kids and you have that box checked, which means you should be able to, you know, speak like an adult, you're still going to get demonetized.
There is no wiggle room. If you say anything that's not squeaky clean Weenie Hut Jr. and you let that rip in the first 8 to 15 seconds of that video, well, you're just getting blasted, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, to a lot of you, hearing that's probably not surprising because the previous policy that all YouTubers were playing ball with was the first 30 seconds you couldn't say fuck. You
Yeah.
couldn't say anything super hard like fuck. Because if you did, you'd likely get demonetized. But now it applies to the first 8 seconds, and all profanity is being treated equally, except for a couple of exceptions like hell and damn.
We're gonna live like kings! Hell ass damn kings!
I guess. Maybe even ass. You might be able to squeeze a little ass in there in the beginning, I suppose, if the YouTube Illuminati is feeling generous with their policy enforcement that day. Now, while that's all pretty clear about just not using any profanity whatsoever in the first 8 seconds, it gets a little muddy when it starts talking about a focal usage of profanity throughout the video. It says such as a mention in every sentence, but that's not exactly how they enforce it. For a lot of the videos that have been demonetized, at least on my side, it's not like I'm going around hitting them with like Saints Row dialogue. It's just very confusing what's actually triggering this new demonetization wave that's sweeping through like a plague.
Right, like, there are some people that, like, for example, Drunken Uncle. His channel is probably gonna get just 8 to 15 seconds. They're sanitizing to appeal to advertisers. Yep. But yeah, it's gonna get way worse here. So, like, there are people like Drunken Uncle, people like, you know, like that's just how they speak. Like that was the character that they developed, right? And and now their whole content.
For example, RT Game, again, isn't exactly a creator known for like intense swearing and getting out of control and unhinged and saying profanity in every sentence like this policy here.
Right.
And yet so many of his videos just got demonetized. And he's also not someone that does a whole lot of cursing and swearing like a sailor in the first like minute of his videos either. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's not as clear as these rules seem to think that it is.
Well, like I said, there are people who, you know, like I try not to swear every sentence I speak, but I was raised among bikers, for crying out loud. Pinkolo was a sailor, and we have a way of speaking, right? Like, we don't sit or like there are people that I have heard every other word is fuck, right? Literally, fuck is a multi-purpose word for them. It is a noun, it is a verb, it is an adverb, it is an adjective. It is literally everything for them. You know, I do not speak that way, right? But YouTube shouldn't, if you have checked the box that says this channel is not made for children, this should not apply.
Upset about the animation because we had an animation made for issue video just going over everything. Proof of God slap baby. No sense at all. Intro. I said, let me a piece of content. So many of his videos just got demonetized. And he's also not someone that does a whole lot of cursing and swearing like a sailor in the first like minute of his videos either. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's not as clear as these rules seem to think that it is. Also, this rule applies retroactively to every piece of content ever made, even as far back as like 2007. So like half of my catalog of videos is now demonetized. This happened to a ton of creators.
Like, I can just imagine the like he just said, the content creators that have had videos up since like he said 2007, 2010, like literally a decade of content.
And because it's a new policy, yet every old video ever made now has to play by those rules. So it ended up with so much being demonetized. But it's very vague when it comes to the enforcement here. Let me give you just two quick examples
don't
from
they have
two new
YouTube
videos
Kids
I
for a
made.
reason?
Both
Yes.
of these were monetized as of 12 hours ago. So this first one is just called Good News. It is legitimately just going over very wholesome topics. The focal point is not on swearing, it's not a potty mouth kind of video. It's just going over wholesome topics. But in the intro, I said shit pretty early.
Oh no, he said shit. Pinkala was a sailor should be the first line to a Tom Waits song. It should! Yes! Too bad Tom Waits is dead
My
now.
story? No. God, no.
No, actually, your story would be the perfect Tom Waits song. Yeah, it would. You don't know Tom. This is how I know you don't know Tom Waits. Language is a barrier language is a barrier to communication between you and me, and fuck is my chisel. Helen Lovejoy runs YouTube now. Yep. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard.
This week's been pretty doom and gloom with a lot of awful shit coming to light all across the internet. So me saying shit here is clearly what triggered the demonetization flag. Okay, a little upsetting, but they've now made these rules clear and they're retroactive, so I get it. But here's an example of one that makes no sense at all by their new rules. This is me talking about Godslap Issue 2 being out. Don't worry, I'm here now. I know for the last few months you've been cold and afraid, the uncertainty eating away at you, wondering what comes next. Well, I'm here to show you what comes next. It's issue 2 of Godslap, baby. I probably don't need to explain what Godslap is, you already know. It's our comic book series that's become more popular than the Bible. There's no profanity at all, not even low-level profanity. I don't mention ass or butt or anything like that at all. I'm just talking about Godslap and getting excited. It's a comic book series we've worked on for a long time, and I made this video just go.
Oh, I know, Ghost Dog. Don't worry. It gets even better. Wait till you see what caused this video to be demonetized.
Going over everything and letting you all know that it's available at godslapbook.com. This wasn't supposed to be an ad for it, but it's a great example here because there is no profanity used throughout this video until 5 minutes and 37 seconds into it after giving a plot summary for issue 1. Surrounding Sal, finishing them off with more finger flicks which blow their fucking head off.
Yeah.
They share a brief conversation. So what could have possibly triggered this demonetization? Is it using profanity at all that's going to result in demonetization? Because that'd be very concerning if so. The best guess I can muster is they must have been really upset about the animation because we had an animation made for issue 2 and it's a pretty gory animation, so it comes in at around a minute into the video and there is some animated gore and violence, but that's a minute into it, and again, that's not the focus of it, and I wouldn't think anyone would be like disturbed or shocked by the content. It's not anything that's egregious or over the top. It's just violence in a comic book and animated format.
Not to mention, there are so many channels that are on YouTube Kids that have like horrific shit on them. And they're allowed. They're allowed. Let's see.
So would that really now result in demonetization for any channel that has anything that's even close to this level of violence? Because that's really strict. Like what you see there is something you'd find in like any M-rated or even T-rated game sometimes. Like it's not that extreme. Like I don't see why that would warrant being demonetized, but it is a bit scary because this has all happened overnight with no explanation.
I wonder how there's a game channel I watch. He's called Super, and he plays MKX, MK11, the Injustice games, and all that. That's where that's where I picked up a lot of my MK11 stuff. But MK11, MKX, all those games have that type of violence in them. So does that mean his whole channel is demonetized now?
And it's not just, bad words and things like that. This applies to so much other shit that they're now enforcing heavily. But it's not just for getting a little wacky with your language in videos that'll result in demonetization now.
Oh, you're probably
if you're getting a little wacky with your game choice, if you're a gaming YouTuber, you can get demonetized for it, even
That's
age restricted in
insane.
some cases. If you're playing a game that's kind of violent, you're very likely to get demonetized for it. And if there's bad language in that game, especially early on in the video you make covering that game, you're likely to be demonetized.
Like, what if you're doing Call of Duty, or if you're doing, like I said, Mortal Kombat, or GTA, or fucking The Last of Us? There's profanity and violence in their mature games. Even God of War has profanity and violence. Like, what? Like, that's what I said. Pardon?
Like one of the main characters, okay,
Mm.
in Call of Duty, his overlay, he actually, every time he gets shoot, he goes, "Ah, you faggot!" He actually yells that
Oh.
his fucking day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the British guy's always like, "Come on, you fucker!"
Yeah, like there's always that shit.
Like, that's, yeah. Fucking.
That's what I mean. It's like right now I'm dealing with that shit too. Like
Fucking
so,
MK11. There's an intro where Kano literally pisses.
Yeah.
Before he fights you.
Yeah, like all this low-key shit, like that's the whole thing. And then Twitch is not much better. They're becoming sanitized in them.
Yep.
So we are becoming fucking, what's it called? Be well.
Demolition Man. And it's like, for years it was like, here, we want independent creators. We want independent creators. And then we get, like, we're like, okay, we're gonna be independent creators. Oh, well, we don't like what you're creating. Like, I'm sorry, what?
For it. And in fact, Callisto Protocol is the most recent example. You can get age restricted for it too. Callisto Protocol was deemed too gory. It's too much. This is very unholy stuff we're seeing here. So anyone that made videos on Callisto Protocol got age restricted for it, including me. A couple of them I know slid under the radar, but for the most part, anything that had Callisto Protocol did get age restricted, which is almost poetic because you might remember that Callisto Protocol is inspired by Dead Space, and Dead Space 2 had the worst marketing campaign of all time called Your Mom Hates Dead Space. It was all about how offended mothers were getting at Dead Space. It was very silly, but now it's like become reality for YouTube. YouTube is now that Dead Space mom when it comes to violent video games.
It really is. It's bad. And it's like violent video games, language, opinions. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, now, like, I feel like there's almost like I feel like there's not even a chance for me to hit monetization now on YouTube. I feel like I could have as many subscribers as I possibly could. I could upload videos every day. I could have like 100,000 watch hours, and I just feel like there would be no monetization. I'd move on to Twitch permanently, but they don't hold VODs forever. You can, yeah. See, but the problem with Rumble, Ghost Dog, is that Rumble's a fucking cash grab. I went to look at Rumble. And if you want an actual good amount of bandwidth to stream on, and like the ability to have hosts or guests and shit like that, they want $30 a month. And it's like, fucking excuse me? Are you kidding me? Like, I understand that you're going up against YouTube and stuff, and you guys have to pay for the infrastructure and whatever, but 30 American dollars a month for bandwidth? Like, fuck that nonsense. And honestly, some of the shit that's being said on Rumble, like, I've noticed that there's been a lot more, like, people being anti, like, not just anti-COVID vaccine, but anti, like, every vaccine, anti, like, against antidepressants, against, like proven medical stuff. It's getting a little creepy, and yeah. $30 American money, which is closer to 40 monopoly. So yeah, 30 American comes out to closer to be 40 to 45 Canadian cannibalistic wizard. So I would have to pay almost $50 a month just to stream on Rumble. Fuck that. It is. Like, if they said, hey, I see you're signing up for a free Rumble account, but if you pay like $5 a month, you can have like this much more bandwidth, and you can have like 5 people on your stream with you, and blah 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 blah. That I would do. But 30? Yeah, we already pay for Streamlabs Prime. So yeah, we pay for Streamlabs Prime. I pay for StreamYard every month, which is already which is again, it's like $30 American. It's not cheap. And it's frustrating because YouTube just it feels like YouTube is telling me that there's no point in me doing stuff on YouTube. So then I go to try to do stuff over on like Twitch and TikTok, and when I'm dual streaming on TikTok and Twitch and stuff, I can get people to come over, and like it works. But then I get fuckers reporting my lives on TikTok. It's like I'm trying to get this to actually be like not I know I'm not gonna be rolling in shit, but I want to at least have a little bit of a steady income with this. Like, and it's fucking like it feels like I'm just keep being like no.
It's pretty pathetic, but what's the saddest part about this whole situation is YouTube's refusal to be transparent with this and make it clear that these policy changes are coming. I had to find out, as did everyone else, after being hit by it and then doing digging, because anytime there's a policy change, YouTube treats it like a government secret, like the Krabby Patty secret formula. They just refuse to share it. So I had to learn by searching around online, talking to other creators, as well as talking directly to YouTube in order to get answers for what was going on.
Wow. That's insane. Like, that he had to do that much digging. And yes, we do get Twitch ad revenue. Twitch is the most lucrative. And like, honestly, if YouTube's gonna fucking pull this shit, maybe I should just go to Twitch. Cause ads and subs and shit, like, and bits, like, maybe I should just fucking say fuck this, fuck YouTube. because they, like, I don't know.
And even my YouTube contact wasn't aware of this until I brought it up, and he did digging on his end.
Holy fuck! That's okay, so Moist has a friend at YouTube that, like, he talks to, and even he didn't know.
And that is absolutely not any fault of his own. That just goes to show you how split YouTube is internally, where things just aren't communicated effectively, even on the inside.
That's pathetic. It, like, YouTube can't even communicate with its own staff about its policy changes, so that when creators, you know, contact YouTube, depending on who they get, maybe someone will know something and maybe they won't. That's pathetic. That's pathetic.
So how the fuck can they possibly manage to inform the community, I guess? It is so laughable. This policy is a game changer for a lot of channels. You have to completely alter your content strategy depending on like what you do. Like if you play like a certain game that could now be deemed a little too violent for ads. Like this is something that changes a lot for many creators.
And not just your content strategy, your content delivery, like your very personality. You might have to change if you wanted to continue on YouTube. And a lot of people liked being a creator because it was a hobby / job that you could be yourself at, or at the very least you could create a character that you developed and had control over. And YouTube is just taking that away from us.
And you have to find out by going through fucking Twitter and then talking to people in whispers on Discord in order to figure out what was happening. That is so pathetic. That YouTube's repeated inability to communicate even their biggest changes to the platform just makes no sense. It just can't be that hard to put out clear documents letting people know what's around the corner and an estimated arrival date. I don't see what makes that so difficult and why they struggle so greatly with it. There was one article I found about this in early December, but of course there was no like
YouTube censors everything. It does
actually launch, or if it was even really going to launch for sure.
Well, it seems to have launched for sure. That's for sure.
Because all of those things are written so vaguely, you never really know what's going to come to the platform and what's not going to. Like it's just so frustrating to have them constantly make these awful choices without ever consulting creators or users of the platform, obviously, but also just not telling them either.
But honestly, Moist, if they consulted us, do you think they would give a fuck what we had to say? Like, I think I've gotten a YouTube survey maybe once in my entire life on YouTube. And I filled it out and nothing came of it. So, like, I don't think that they give a fuck about what we have to say, even when they do ask us.
Unfortunately, it's all just another common YouTube L here. I had to unmask the Scooby-Doo villain, and per usual, it was YouTube. So if you're just now figuring this out and wondering why your channel got demonetized over the last 24 hours, I'm sorry I had to be the one to shit out this bad news onto your plate. Would have been a lot more palatable if it came from YouTube's mouth as opposed to my ass, but is what it is. I am very, very convinced they will never actually communicate policy changes ever. At least not in any effective manner. So you'll just always have to wonder when the next big policy change is coming to fuck you in the mouth. So that's a pretty fun thing to think about when making content on YouTube. And yeah, just wanted to give everyone the little update here since YouTube didn't. That's about it. See ya.
Happy fucking New Year to content creators on YouTube. Fucking Jesus. Remember when the skeptics tried to make that YouTube union? I do. That was both funny and pathetic at the same time. Okay, our last video of the stream. The short one. And it's an Angry Cops video. So he's reacting to Veterans Affairs Canada's new commercial. That can't be creepier at all. No, no, no. Not at all. Here we go. We're gonna take a look at this commercial, and I grabbed it from Angry Cops' channel, so let's take a look here. All right. So, let's take a look.
Justin Trudeau and all proud Canadians, thank you for your service to our country. But now, it's our turn to serve you. Here at Veteran Affairs Canada, our top-notch medical technicians can resolve any issue a veteran has.
Really? Really? Oh, any medical issue, huh? I bet you I know how you'll solve that.
Shin splints, high blood pressure, PTSD, cancer, even building you a wheelchair ramp can all be fixed with MAID. Medical assistance in dying. Allow us to offer you suicide. MAID, because you killing yourself is a statistic, while us killing you is customer service. At the VAC, we believe in inclusivity, so we don't call any of our veterans dead or dying. We prefer trans life. Your issues don't have to be combat.
Oh my god, Matt, what the fuck? This is a sarcastic commercial, Leo. This is I just realized this is Angry Cops. He's made this commercial because Veterans Affairs Canada has officially the official number has been 6 veterans where they have offered medical assistance in death, where when the veterans have come for actual like quality of life improvement. So this is Angry Cops reacting and creating this commercial based on the other 2 videos that he did that I've covered, where he's talking about the veterans that were, quote, offered this.
Related. Here at the VAC, we see all veterans as future open parking spots. Call up your VAC representative to find out more about medical assistance in dying today. If a serious issue outside of MAID exists, please contact your local VAC representatives, and we'll get back to you at our earliest convenience. Because at the VAC, you're always wasting our time. We may not be able to build you a fucking wheelchair ramp in 5 years, but we can roll you off a cliff and into the afterlife within a few months. Do you have ringing in the ears, a heartbeat, and other life-related issues? The VAC can help. Hurrying enlisted to leave the planet. If you need help, the VA should be your first call. If you're plagued by things like emotions, feelings, or a heartbeat, the VAC can help. Oh, my cancer hurt. Shut the fuck up!
It's funny because it's fucking true. Because this is how we're showing our veterans that we care about them. Oh. It's actually legal in Oregon also. Oh, really? Oregon is a shithole.
Who let this motherfucker speak? Oh, it's always the white ones. Always the white ones that are complaining. Give me the fucking anesthesia. He's going out. VAC is sponsored by End It All. End It All. Right now. Hurry up. Do it. End it all. Side effects may include not breathing, seeing, hearing, walking, talking, carrying, pooping, eating, or going towards the light. If life symptoms persist, a second dose may be necessary. Ask the VAC if MAID is right for you.
God damn it, Matt. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Yeah, Rich is good at that. The funnier ones are if you can find the ones where Donut has found angry cops, right? It's hilarious because Donut has found times where angry cops has been in police videos screaming at people because he's a cop too, right? He's a cop in Buffalo. So there's there's a few out there. And look up if you can find them. Look up angry cop yells at mayor. Like he's like he gets into the mayor's face and goes full drill sergeant as a cop.
Funny.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, he's pissed. High is pissed about this whole fucking maid thing. I'm pissed about it because it's bullshit.
Well, it's scary because come March, they're including mentally ill people.
Yeah,
so
they've also included the blind and disabled for since it started.
No, but I'm sitting here going, so if, when I go asking for counseling help, yeah, are they gonna fucking suggest that I end it?
Yeah, that's what they're gonna ask. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it.
Like, it's scary. It's really scary. All right, guys. We made it a 90-minute stream today. Look at that. So I will be back on Twitch tomorrow for Beat the Blind Girl, probably in the evening because it's still Christmas break. So no streaming in the daytime with the children. With Mortal Kombat because can't hear them. Keep an eye on Twitter for my decision on whether or not I'm gonna I might just put the coffee stream on Twitch too after this nonsense. Yeah. Like, I'm really, really considering that. But yeah, keep an eye on Twitter. But I'll definitely be here for on Twitch for Beat the Blind Girl tomorrow. And have a great rest of your Monday. I hope your first 2 days of your new year are going well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.